What's up, travellers? Welcome back to the channel. As J Aviation HQ here, welcome back to the channel. As mentioned, today we have the highly anticipated model review of the Airbus A350 freighter for Airbus Industries, wearing the house livery. But of course, before we go any further in today's video, go ahead and leave a thumbs up below. It'll be a great indication of how much you've enjoyed today's video and of course the coverage here on this channel. While you're there, go ahead and subscribe to the channel below by clicking that subscribe button, and of course while you're there as well, go ahead and turn the notification on by smashing that bell icon. Of course that will lead you straight to the channel as soon as the new videos come out very soon, like the next model review that will be the Cathay Pacific 777-300ER wearing the enlarged revised titles by NG Models. That will be coming out very soon, so come along and tune into the channel when that comes out. If you missed out on the most recent model review that I did of the Delta Airlines 350-900 wearing the LA28 livery, go ahead and check it out in the top right corner right about now. Now moving on into today's video, this of course being the 350 freighter by NG Models. I'm going to read out some information about Airbus as a company and some information about the 350 and the 350 freighter. Of course, this aircraft doesn't have a designated MSN number, etc. So I can't, and it hasn't been built yet, so I can't read out that sort of information for this video. Of course, this model review is going to be a little bit different, as of course this aircraft is a freighter aircraft. It's a house livery. I'm not too sure how it's going to go in terms of reviewing the model itself, but we'll get to that stage later on in the video. So let's go ahead and read out some information for you guys. So founded on December the 18th of 1970, Airbus is a European aerospace corporation. The company's primary business is the design and manufacturing of commercial aircraft, but it also has a separate defense and space sector and a helicopter division as well. The company operates major offices and assembly plants in France, Germany, Spain and the United Kingdom, as well as recent additions in Canada, Malaysia and the United States of America and also India, with their main European assembly plants being in Toulouse-Blagnac International Airport in France, and of course Hamburg, Finkenwerder in Hamburg, Germany. I believe I pronounced that right. If not, my apologies. So the Airbus A350 freighter is a proposed variant of the Airbus 350 family and is set to rival Boeing's 777 freighter, with multiple orders already by the likes of Singapore Airlines Cargo, which will be the launch customer. Then we have Air France Cargo, Etihad Cargo, Cathay Cargo and of course Starlux Airlines. So in February of 2025 of this year, of course, Airbus announced that 350 freighter entry to service would be delayed until 2027 due to supply chain issues. And of course, the 350 freighter is said to be based on the passenger 350-1000 variant, but with a shortened fuselage. And more generally, the Airbus A350 was introduced on January the 15th of 2015 by the launch customer Qatar Airways, and as of March of 2025, 651 350s had been built, with the largest customer being Singapore Airlines, who has 65 350-900s, and of course they are going to be the launch customer of the 350 freighter. So with that information out of the way, a bit staticky my reading there, my apologies. It's not the easiest thing reading off paper in my opinion, in terms of my abilities, but I did my best. So with that out of the way, let's go ahead and showcase the box. Very nice indeed. If you missed out on the unboxing of this aircraft, go ahead and check it out. Top right corner right about now. Of course, this model featured in the mega unboxing. Now here we have in the top of the box the Airbus A350 freighter titles there in the white text, and of course in the background here we have the carbon fiber emblem or design that's seen on the tail fin just here, also seen on the 350-1000 house livery when it was being tested and whatnot. Here we have A350 freighter, of course, being bannered across the box here, and of course airmail par Avion, if I'm pronouncing that right. And of course some more decals here in terms of what's on the livery itself. An apple, fish, a horse, a car, an engine, and the weights. Very nice. Here we have the livery itself. Rather interesting to say the least. Of course, this livery was the outcome of a competition, I believe, that was held by Airbus to help create the house livery or the stock livery of the 350 freighter when it is unveiled and built, of course. The reason why I went ahead and got this model, because it was a fancy looking aircraft in my opinion, and I thought it was going to be pretty cool to have in my collection itself. And of course it is wearing a registration, which is down here, Foxtrot Dash Whiskey X-Ray Lima Delta. Because as I mentioned in the unboxing video, I'm not too sure why NG Models is coming out with the likes of the customers that will be operating this aircraft when of course it hasn't been built. I know they're fantasy aircraft, but they don't have registrations on them, so for realism's sake you can't really say it is operational, but you know. And here we have what's usually on boxes this way up, and of course this livery is actually meant to look like a box, which I think is pretty cool. Here we have the 350 freighter banner again, and the consignment note that would also be on a box. Very cool, with the QR code. I wonder if that actually works, that QR code. Would be pretty cool, wouldn't it? So on the bottom panel we have the A350 freighter titles there, the aircraft itself looking fancy indeed. Then we have the barcode and the item number. Here we have on this panel here, the right hand panel, we have the 350 freighter text there with the carbon fiber background there. On this side we have the same carbon fiber look on the background of the panel, the 350 text in the top left, the 2D rendering of the aircraft with the registration below that. Very cool. And on this side it's identical to the opposite side. Very nice. And on the back panel it's pretty much identical to the top panel or the front panel, but it doesn't have the 350 freighter text on the top, but it does have the warning information on the bottom of it. Very cool indeed. Maybe if it will focus when I get closer. Apps. There we go. Very nice indeed. A nice job by NG Models. A very unique aircraft. It would be interesting if they came out with the likes of maybe the 777X when they have the mold for it in terms of a bombing house livery. I think that would be pretty cool. I saw AV400, Aviation 400, if you know it better like that, is coming out with a 777X mold with the folding with the wingtips being able to fold up and fold down. I think that would be pretty cool to have. Pretty flimsy in my opinion. I mean, I don't know what it will be like. I do quite like having either the folded up or folded down, like a flaps down, flaps up kind of configured model. But we'll see how that goes later on in the piece. So with that out of the way, the reading out of the company details and of course the other information I read out before and the showcasing of the box, let's go ahead and check out the model. And here is the absolutely stunning and very uniquely looking Airbus A350 freighter by Airbus Industries, released by NG Models. I believe NG Models are the only brand who has released this house livery so far. And in this portion of the video, I'm going to showcase this model up close to the camera for you guys, giving you some nice up close shots of this model, and of course all the details and all of their glory, giving you some insights about what each of the components do in the event of a flight. Now do bear in mind that this aircraft is a freighter aircraft, not a passenger aircraft, so it will be relatively different in terms of all the rest of the other reviews that I've done in the past, as of course I haven't really done many freighter reviews before. Now, if you are unaware and haven't really taken in what I said earlier in the video, this aircraft here, the Airbus 350 freighter, is a proposed variant of the Airbus A350 family, and is set to rival the Boeing 777 freighter, with multiple orders already. The order list for this 350 freighter so far is filed here. There are 66 orders so far for the 350 freighter, and in alphabetical order, here we go. There's 4 for Air France, 6 for Cathay Pacific, 8 for CMA Air Cargo, 10 for Etihad Airways or Etihad Cargo, 4 for Martinair or KLM Cargo, 2 for Silkway West Airlines out of Azerbaijan, 7 for Singapore Airlines Cargo, of course they will be the launch customer of the aircraft, 10 for Starlux Airlines, 5 for Turkish Airlines Cargo, and of course 10 are unassigned at the moment. Now the source link for where I got the information, of course, will be located in the description below. And of course this aircraft here was announced that it will be delayed into service due to supply issues, of course, until 2027. And as you can see, the 350 freighter is based off the 350-1000 airframe, just a little bit shorter though. So with that out of the way, let's go ahead and showcase this model. So let's zoom in for you guys first of all. Right up. And here is the model. Looking rather funky indeed, isn't it? The closest livery that comes to mind in terms of comparison, I believe, would be the newer Emirates courier livery. If you haven't seen that one yet, Emirates did post it on their Instagram not too long ago. There will be a photo of it on the screen now for you guys. Very interesting indeed, to say the least. Of course, meant to look like the what a box would look like in terms of you know, package delivery. Of course, this livery here was also, I'm not sure if I mentioned, but this aircraft was the outcome of a competition to see what the house livery would look like in terms of the first airframe. Very interesting indeed. Now starting off at the front portion of the aircraft, we can see at the middle of the shot just there, we can see the nose cone, and underneath that is a component called the weather radar. Now that is a component used to detect storms along the flight path of a flight, to give the pilots an indication of the weather ahead of them, of course the rainfall intensity, and of course the possibility of turbulence as well. This enables the crew to navigate around any potentially hazardous areas along the flight plan that they've assigned for their flight. Very nice indeed. Now in the middle of the shot just here, we can make out the pitot tubes. Now they are used to measure fluid flow velocity during a flight. Not too sure where it is in terms of the 350. I believe it is either here or just below that. That would be the angle of attack sensor, or the AOA sensor. That is used to offer a visual indication of the amount of lift the wings are generating at a given airspeed or angle of bank. Here we have in the middle of the shot, we can make out the raccoon mask of course the 350 XWB family was the aircraft family that introduced the raccoon mask on the Airbus aircraft. Of course, now seen on the 320neo family, whether that's the 319neo, 320neo, or the 321neo, the various variants of the 321neo family. Of course, that could be the LR, XLR, and of course the regular neo. Very nice. And of course also seen on some 330s now, especially the 330neo family, and of course now seen on some Boeing aircraft as well. An airline that comes to mind straight away would be Air Canada with their Bandit Zorro mask on their livery now. Very interesting. Now the raccoon mask is basically there to deflect any of the heat against the edge of the windshields of the cockpit. So very cool. Here we have in the middle of the shot, we can see the nose gear here. as you can see, does roll on the axis very well, doing the job. And of course, here is the strut here. There's no details on the nose gear door there. Of course, this aircraft is a house livery, of course. Here we have the first cabin door. There's only two cabin doors, I believe, on this aircraft. I believe there would be one at the rear. Well, there should be. But so there's only two cabin doors. There's one on this side and of course the other side. So here is the Lima 1 door. Very interesting. Here we have the first of the there's no cabin, of course. The first of the windows here. Very nice. And then we get to the rest of the livery. First and foremost, here we have the pedostatic system on this aircraft. If I can get it to focus for you guys, there we go. Now that is used to determine an aircraft's airspeed, Mach number, altitude and altitude trend. Of course, I believe this is the component on the aircraft that is used to demonstrate the graphs. Or provide the graphs you can see on apps like Flight Radar 24 and also Plane Fighter or any other various plane spotting apps you use. Very cool. And then we have the livery itself, looking rather cool. Here we have the this way up wording or icon you can see on the side of a box as an instruction of which way the box is meant to be sitting. Very nice. And then we have the contents logos here in terms of the apple, the fish, the livestock, I believe, the vehicle there, the engine parts, and of course the weight. Very nice, of course, and kilograms. Very cool. Now here we have in the B of Airbus, we can see the landing light there. So not the landing light, the wing light that is used to light up the wing, the leading edge of the wing here during night operations. It's better used during night operations, of course. Here we have the wing light just in the middle of the shot. That is used especially during night operations, but of course is always used when an aircraft is on an active runway or in flight. That is mainly used during 0 and 10,000 feet. Above 10,000 feet to the pilot's discretion, they can turn this off. Very cool. Here we have the number 1 engine. Of course, this is the Rolls-Royce XWB-97 engine, because the 97 engines are used on the 1000 variant. Very cool. Looking rather cool. The Airmail Par Avion sticker here. Very nice. A nice job. And of course, on both sides you can see the vortex generators. Very cool. On this side, just here at the top of the screen there, and in the middle of the shot on the other side. Now they are used to deflect airflow onto the leading edge of the wing behind the engine. Very cool. They are used. These what create the airflow vapor trail you can see on the top of the wing when the aircraft is rotating out of an airfield, an airfield or an airport. Very cool. Here is the landing gear. We'll take a great look at these on when we have a look at the bottom of the aircraft, but you can see they do tilt. Triple bogey gears, just like the 1000, and they don't tilt on the strut as well. Just giving you guys some insights there. Here is the wing of this aircraft, looking rather cool indeed. Now on here, if I can get it to focus for you guys, here we go. Here we have the strobe lights of the aircraft. Now in the especially seen at night time, this aircraft, the strobe lights would flash twice on an Airbus. If this was a Boeing, it would flash once. To the right of the strobe lights there, we can see the red navigation light. On the other wing, we'll see in a moment that the navigation light on that side is green. Here we have the exterior of the second generation Sharklet there, a yellow background with the 350 freighter text in black. The interior of the Sharklet looks like this. So very similar to the exterior, just what it says on the interior there. Rather cool. So continuing on, here we have what the consignment note you would see on the box, whether on top or the side of the box. Very cool with the hashtag there, and of course the barcode that of course is what would be scanned to get your up-to-date reading or tracking of your package. Here we have another antenna on top of the aircraft. Now this is what I like to see in terms of the cargo door open here for business. Of course, that is where they would load up the cargo. Very cool indeed. Cannot wait for this aircraft 350 freighter to be in service, especially with their launch customer Singapore Airlines, and I would go ahead and get a model of one. Very cool. And here we have some more little details here. Just trying my best to focus on it for you guys. Not too sure what these are meant to replicate or represent, but here we have some more details here. Here we have the registration, Foxtrot Dash Whiskey X-Ray Lima Delta, the registration of the first ever 350 freighter that has started to be built, I believe in Toulouse at the moment. And extra large door just below that. Very cool. That's what the XLD or X-Ray Lima Delta is abbreviated to. So very cool. I didn't actually know that, but that's pretty cool. And we have some more windows here. One just there, another one just beside the cargo door there, another one just here next to the 350 freighter banner there, and another antenna on top of that. Here we have the tail fin and the rear fuselage looking rather funky in the carbon fiber details here. The carbon fiber livery was also seen on the 350-900 and of course the 350 freighter. The 350-1000, my bad. Of course, we are looking at 350 freighter at the moment. Very nice. Of course, the carbon fiber livery is also seen as a special livery on the China Airlines 350-900. Very nice livery. Would be cool to see instrumentals coming out with that in the future. I would like to replace my Phoenix release. That would be rather cool indeed if they could do that. Now here we have the APU at the very end of the aircraft here. Auxiliary power unit in the middle of the shot there. Additional engine on board the aircraft. And here we have the elevators with the two silver dots seen on the, or a grey dot seen on the elevators. They are the logo lights, otherwise known as the tail lights. They illuminate light onto the tail fin during night operations to give an indication to, or a visual indication to the to anyone who is in the control tower at a given airport about who the operator is of the aircraft. In terms of this case, it would of course be Airbus in terms of the house livery. Could also be used as a marketing tool to anyone who is within or outside the perimeter of the airfield, to give the sense of wanting to fly the aircraft if this was a passenger aircraft. So let's go ahead and look at the other side of the aircraft. There's not many differences in terms of this side. Only main differences are that here we have an emergency escape hatch on the top of the cockpit there. Here we have a forward baggage compartment just here. Trying to focus on it for you guys. There we go. Moving down, we can see the rear baggage compartment just here, having great difficulty in terms of focusing on it for you guys. There we go. And there's the rear baggage compartment as mentioned. And everything else is mainly flipped. The only other difference on this side of the aircraft is that here we have the green navigation light opposed to the red one on the other side. And of course, here we have the number 2 Rolls-Royce XWB 97 engine, of course the Rolls-Royce Trent engine just there. Very nice. Let's have a brief look at the bottom of the aircraft momentarily. Now here we have the nose gear door. That of course is where the nose gear would retract into. Very nice indeed. Moving down here we have the beacon on the top of the fuselage. Not too sure if it was on the top. Here we go. Very cool. And here of course is where it is on the bottom of the aircraft. Here we have the landing gear doors. Of course they of course is where the landing gear would retract into once departed an airfield. And of course here is the underside of those landing gear, looking rather cool indeed. And of course, as I mentioned, they do roll. Here we have the details of the underside of the engine here, and the other one looking rather funky indeed. Very cool. And the underside of the wing, very cool. And registration wise again, Foxtrot Dash Whiskey X-Ray Lima Delta. Of course the whiskey is always used on a test aircraft, but X-Ray Lima Delta, just mentioned before, extra large doors, what they are meant to abbreviate. Very cool. Here we have the red outline of where the ram air turbine would be used. If you're in Toulouse when this aircraft is being tested, of course this is where that propeller light device would extend from the fuselage whilst testing the aircraft. Very cool. And then as we move down, we get to where the entryway, you can vaguely see it at the end of, or in between the elevators there in the middle of the shot. That of course is where the other additional engine on board the aircraft is, the APU, auxiliary power unit. Very cool indeed as well. And that is pretty much it for today's video, guys. Just trying to focus on it. Let's go out and focus on the aircraft again. So let me know what you enjoyed in today's video. Would you go ahead and get this aircraft? I personally went ahead and got it because I've got many other house liveries in my collection, including the 787-9, 787-10 in terms of the Boeing house livery, and of course the 777-9X in the Sunrise livery. Would go ahead and get the blue livery if I can find it, in terms of one that has the folded wingtips up. That would be nice to have. I don't have any other house liveries in terms of Airbus aircraft, and otherwise apart from this one. But cannot wait for the 350 freighter to go ahead and to get to be certified and arrive into service. I cannot wait to see this around the world, flying around the world, other photos around the world of course, and of course the other airlines that are soon to be taking deliveries of this airframe. We cannot wait to see this happen. So if you did enjoy this video, go ahead and leave a thumbs up below and comment below what you've enjoyed in today's video. And of course, while you're there, go ahead and share this video to anyone who may benefit from this video. And of course, while you're there as well, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. And of course, next to that would be the bell icon. Go ahead and smash that to turn on notifications for future videos coming out on the channel fairly soon, including the next model review that will be the Cathay Pacific enlarged titles on the 777-300ER that was recently unboxed on the channel, also by NG Models. So you don't want to miss out on that. Go ahead and turn notifications on to come along and view that video as soon as it's up on the channel. Now if you want to go ahead and support my whereabouts here on social media, go ahead and scan the QR code you can see on the screen now. That will lead you straight to my Instagram page for Airbus International Airport. That is the one main place of where I upload the photos of the aircraft, models that I have, and of course the up-to-date information about my whereabouts here on social media, whether it is here on YouTube or my website, or any other details about my network as well. If you want to go ahead and check out all the other websites, the social media links in one full place and one full platform, go ahead and scan the QR code you can see on the screen now. They will lead you straight to my Linktree page with all of the links in one full place. Of course, if you don't have the means to scan any of those QR codes, there are additional links in the description below to give you easier access to any of those accounts if you want to go ahead and check them out. And that would do it for today's video, guys. So thank you very much for coming along and tuning in today's video. Again, if you want to go ahead and leave a thumbs up, share this video to anyone who may benefit from this video. Comment below what you thought in today's video as well. Subscribe and turn on the bell icon for notifications for future videos. Now on the end screen will be some options for you guys. On the left hand side will be my most recent video here on the channel. On the right hand side will be the full playlist of model reviews here on the channel. In the middle will be where you can subscribe. But until next time, guys, fly safe, stay safe, and I will see you guys in the next one.